Nestled in the Pocono Mountains, 100 miles west of New York City, is one of the most unique racetracks in the country. It's Pocono Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle.
And we are racing. Wide. Still grinding on each other.
Did he win?
This is going to happen all afternoon. A little contact.
Trying to block, and he holds on, and he does.
Look at that push, side by side. No trouble. Oh, it is getting good. And we are racing in the ARCA Menards Series.
Welcome to the General Tire #Anywhere is Possible 200. This is race number 8 of the ARCA Menards Series. And one man who knows how to find his way to victory lane at Pocono is joining us here tonight. Take a look back to last year. Jumped in the truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports. After this spin, the caution comes out and bunches him up. Watch the 51 truck there. That is Brandon Jones. As he tries to catch the 2 of Sheldon Creed, they get side by side. But in the end, the checker flag flew, and it was Brandon Jones winning in the Truck Series for the first time. What an exciting day it was, and then he went on to jump into his Xfinity Series car right afterwards. Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Little, joined by Phil Parsons, and I mentioned Brandon Jones. We are so excited to have the Menards driver with us tonight. Brandon, everybody talks about how tricky this place is. What's the key to winning here?
Yeah, well, Pocono is such a difficult racetrack, and I think last year was a great testament to showcase that, because we go on to win the truck race, climbing the Xfinity car, first lap, get taken out. So I went from a big high to a big low pretty fast. But this place is definitely a thrill to race around. 3 very different corners to race around, but at the same time, I think the biggest key to winning this race is going to be those restarts. You always see that big front stretch get 4 or 5 wide. Turn 1 gets pretty tight as well when you get down there, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys handle that, and then also the traction compound sometimes comes into play here as well.
Definitely. Well, we have a stacked field tonight, Phil. And, you know, Corey Heim is the guy that's always in the mix. But he told me this week that with the drivers that are in the field entered tonight, he really hopes that people stop talking about Ty Gibbs and hope that, you know, they bring some for him to step up his game.
Yeah, there are a couple other drivers in this field that may take a little bit of the emphasis away from Ty Gibbs. Take a look at these numbers here. These 3 young men, these are head-to-head races. That's when all 3 of these drivers were in the same field. 22 starts between them, 18 combined wins, and over 2,500 laps led. It's amazing what these teenagers have been able to do here in the ARCA Menards Series, and they've all moved on and doing great things in other series as well.
Well, Corey Heim certainly wants to have his name on top of the board when all is said and done, and he caught up with our Kate Osborne moments ago.
And Jamie, one might describe him as it being in a winter slump. Corey Heim is a guy who has a sights set on the prize. What did the team do this weekend to set you up for success?
Yeah, we actually brought a totally different car, which is a little bit unplanned for us. But, you know, they've been working some late nights and early mornings to try to get better. And, you know, they're putting in a lot of work, too. So our JBL Camry tonight, it's going to be really good, I think.
Corey, you were saying in qualifying that there was nothing wrong with the car, but you still had a frustration in your voice. Why?
Yeah, I mean, we come to the racetrack to lead practice, lead qualifying, and win the race, you know, and anytime you don't do that, you wish you could be a little bit better. So, you know, we want to do the most we can do to get every point, and, you know, that's 1 point given away to Ty in qualifying. So we're going to make improvements. We made a lot of improvements already this weekend, and we're going to get better.
Moving in the right direction, all they can ask for, Corey Heim qualifying 3rd here today.
Thank you, Kate. Well, typical racer right there. Just not happy unless he is on top of the board. And you guys, he mentioned it, the points. They get 1 point for taking the pole. And once again, for the 5th time this season, Ty Gibbs got that point. So now you look at the top of the leaderboard. Ty Gibbs, Corey Heim, tied.
Yeah, you see Thad Moffitt. He has had a tremendous season, only 45 points behind. But what those 2 drivers up top have done has overshadowed him. He's had his best career finish a couple times this year. So really proud of what Thad Moffitt's been able to do in his full-time schedule.
Yeah, well, those top 3 have definitely been impressive, but the ones that I'm looking at too, Nick Sanchez, Charlotte was amazing for him, being able to compete with Ty Gibbs, and then Drew Dollar, I've raced with him multiple times as well, super good competitor. What I love to see about these guys is a lot of guys trying to get to that Xfinity Series from the ARCA level, so love to see that.
You saw Jack Wood on there too. He's just picked up a whole season worth of Truck Series races for GMS, so now he's double duty in it, and it's paying off for him for sure. Well, no matter who you talk to, they have their own opinions about racing at Pocono. Here's the General Tire driver profile.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the General Tire hashtag Anywhere is Possible 200. Please welcome our Grand Marshal to deliver the most famous words in auto racing, representing General Tire, Michael Murray.
Drivers, start your engines!
I like it. A fired up command to start engines. We are ready to go. Now we're going to check in with the General Tire driver profile.
Most people have a love-hate relationship with Pocono. I love the place. It is different. It's weird. You got to be on top of your game. It's just not running in circles. It's completely different every single corner.
It's like no other track we go to with the tunnel turn. That's probably the biggest thing that sticks out in my mind is who can get through the tunnel turn the best is probably going to be the car that you have to beat at the end of the day.
It's just something different, and I love going there, and the speed's definitely fun, and getting your race car dialed in there can be difficult. So it's a good challenge.
I've heard a lot of things. It's very fast, but it's also a lot of driver because you can't really nail the setup because three corners are so different.
We've always had really good speed there. We can just never put a whole race together. And I think if we do that this year, we'll be really, really good and have a top 5 run. But I think it's just getting through that tunnel turn for me the whole time.
It's my home track, and being that I'm only on the ARCA East schedule, it's a little difficult for family and friends to come out and see me race. I think the closest we go is Indiana. So it is nice to be going home and racing the track and seeing everyone come out to support me. I know that's my biggest confidence booster.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. It just cannot be more beautiful. Sun has been shining, blue skies all day long. Earlier today, just a couple of hours ago, cars took to the track for the General Tire Pole Award. The 18 of Ty Gibbs, everybody trying to chase him down. Could they stop him? Nope. At the end of the day, for the 5th time this season, Ty Gibbs captured that General Tire Pole Award. So he will lead the field to green. And as you take a look at our General Tire starting grid, let's dial up one of our drivers, Chandler Smith, starting on the outside of the front row. First time in the field this year, Phil.
Yeah, let's ask him about that. Hey, Chandler Smith, Phil Parsons, and Jamie Little, Brandon Jones up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Chandler, I know that you haven't been here before, and you're getting a little bit of experience today in preparation for the truck race tomorrow. What's your first impression of Pocono?
So I've actually been here twice. This is my 3rd visit to Pocono. I love the racetrack. I love the atmosphere. I love the fans here. Definitely the scenery around the racetrack. Look forward to getting away with this ARCA race and having a good solid race. Have Safe Light on board for the first time ever in an ARCA car, so really proud to be representing their colors. And look forward to tomorrow as well.
Yeah, hey Chandler, it's Brandon Jones up here with the guys and the girls. Curious to know what you think it's going to take to beat the 18 car today. It's been fun watching you so far in the Truck Series and ARCA Menards Series, but the 18's obviously been really fast, so I'm curious to know what you think it's going to take tonight to try to knock him off his throne.
Staying right there with him, breathing down his neck. That's all you got to do.
Thank you, Chandler. It'll be fun to watch him. Like he said, he's got to stay with him. If he wants to beat him, he's got to stay to his outside just as he is now. Well, we have some onboards we'll be following all along, bringing us all of the action tonight.
Yeah, this is the Richmond Water Heaters onboard. This is Chris Wright. Chris finished 8th at Mid-Ohio last time out. This is the MasterTech Ford. Unfortunately, had an issue, did not get to qualify, so he will start last or 24th.
He should be giving us some great pictures throughout the night. And the General Tire on board, the number 8 of Sean Core. Good to have him back in the series.
Also going to ride along with Andy Jankoniak. This is the Bounty rookie spotlight on board. Phillips 66 is on board with Andy for this race. Andy will be starting from the 9th spot.
And the Reese's on board. Sam Mayer in the number 23. A lot of wins in this series last year, moonlighting today as he'll make his Xfinity debut on Sunday. Let's head down to the pits for an update. Here's Kate.
Jamie, how about this for a little bit of fun? The CEO of Pocono Raceway, Nick Igdalski, is behind the wheel of the number 12 car tonight. He told me he might be shaking off a little bit of rust as he hasn't been in an ARCA car around Pocono in 6 years and might embarrass himself just a little bit. He said that's all right, though. It's for a good cause as he's raising awareness for the Pocono Mountain Regional Police Foundation. Those working this weekend gathered for a photo yesterday, and he is honored to do what he can to support those in blue. He also added that he is so grateful to the track staff for being so great at their jobs so he can get out and have some fun tonight and race.
Thank you, Kate. Such a great story. Nick Igdalski, he's the CEO of Pocono. Kind of a busy weekend on his hands, but he's in the race car. We'll see how he can do. Let's take a look at our race analysis.
See, this race is 80 laps. 200 miles. Our first race here was back in 1983. This is the 71st time that these ARCA Menards drivers will race here at Pocono. Our winner last year was Ty Gibbs. The important thing is we're going to have competition cautions right around lap 30 and lap 60 where they can change tires and fuel.
All right. Such a fun racetrack. I can't wait to watch what these guys can do here. Ty Gibbs, of course, he's trying to repeat as the winner, something we haven't seen in almost 3 decades. Warming up those tires. They'll have 8 tires, which is 2 sets for tonight's race.
29 consecutive different winners. That's incredible. 29.
Well, Ty's all about breaking the records this year, so we'll see. He's got some hungry drivers around him, though, that hope that will not happen. Hope to put the stop on it. Corey Heim in the 20 is one to certainly watch tonight, with Venturini Motorsports starting behind the 18 of Ty Gibbs. And Chandler Smith, he has nothing to lose. He's in the field going for the win tonight, just trying to get some laps before the Truck Series. The pace car is off. 18 and Ty Gibbs will lead him to green for the 5th time this season. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Pocono.
These restarts super important. You already see Ty trying to block that run. Definitely does not want to give that lead up to the 20 car there for sure.
Brandon, that's what you talked about in the open as well.
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't see more fanning out there than we did. I think those guys will definitely kind of see how the 18 did that and maybe use that later today in the race.
It was only 4 wide there in the front stretch. We have 3 wide now getting down in the tunnel turn.
Only.
Nice pack going for that 3rd and 4th position. Corey Heim certainly tried to jump that start and get around the 18. That seems to be the one time that you can stop him.
Sam Mayer with a nice move in that 23 car, getting by the 21 of Jack Wood. Here comes Nick Sanchez, the 2 car as well underneath.
Yeah, let's watch Sam right here. He's definitely using that PJ1 already. I know they sprayed a really thick compound down, but didn't look like it was hurting him as bad as I thought it would be. So that's kind of encouraging to see that.
Sam Mayer went head-to-head with Ty Gibbs a year ago. He's raced everything under the sun, and he's not even 18 until tomorrow. He will be taking over that junior motorsports ride in the number 8.
See a little side drafting up there in front of Andy Jankoriak. That's Jack Wood, the 21, the black and white car on the outside.
Jack Wood, the start of this season, thought he was just going to be racing in the ARCA Menards series, and here he's picked up about the rest of the season, all but 1 race for GMS in the 24 truck, and has done a nice job, especially last weekend in Nashville.
Unbelievable. Qualified on the front row, had just outside of a top 10 finish, finished 11th. Really did a nice job at Nashville.
And that was no easy racetrack for sure. Very fun place, but nothing really quite like in the schedule.
It looked really hard to pass there. This is not like, this racetrack is not like that. You saw him 4 wide on the front stretch, 3 wide on the Long Pond straightaway.
Doesn't matter what series it is, those restarts at this racetrack are incredible.
Yeah, definitely one of the more fun parts of this track, trying to get track position really early. We know we can't win the race on the first corner, but you can dang sure try on these restarts.
Jack Wood, the 21 from Northern California, made the big trip out east to move to Charlotte to live his dream, and here he is. Kate.
Yeah, Jack was telling us earlier that laps, those seat time, and also racing around really fast guys and trucks has really helped him in his pursuit in ARCA. He also said it's really helped with his language and understanding communication on what's happening on track to be able to deliver that back to those on his crew. Brandon, how critical is understanding communication between teams and drivers as these guys are learning and developing?
Yeah, well, communication, in my opinion, is so important, especially chemistry as well on top of that communication. Myself, I've had the same crew chief now for a few years in the Xfinity Series with Jeff Mendering, and that communication has gotten so good between us with those couple of years that we've had. It takes a while, I feel like, to those crew chiefs to finally figure out what that driver's talking about in the car. So you're definitely, kind of seeing that communication stuff working out for them.
And I was talking to the GMS guys. That's who field this ARCA Menards car, as well as the truck with Jack Wood. And they said Jack really studies hard, really works hard at it. They're really impressed with his work ethic, and they think he's really has a bright future.
How different is a truck versus an ARCA Menards series car, especially when it comes just setting it up and what feel you need to get out of it?
Yeah, I would think. I think there would be a lot of similarities. I remember going from an ARCA to a truck. The motors now are very similar, so horsepower is very close, in my opinion. They're on a very similar package there as far as horsepower goes. The side drafting, the drag a little bit. There's some differences there for sure on those trucks. They feel really glued into the racetrack with that big trunk that they've got on the back of those trucks. So those are the biggest differences. But these are two very similar. Cars and trucks, in my opinion.
Chandler Smith in the 25 finished second here last year to Ty Gibbs. He's been so impressive. I mean, he's just one of those guys that has come up through the ranks that everybody has kept an eye on. Toyota jumped on board with him and believed in him from the beginning. 3 seasons part-time in ARCA. He's won in every one of them, and you talked about it, Phil, at the top of the show. 9 wins.
Yeah, that's incredible. 9 and 30-some starts. And I said at the beginning, when I said to him, you haven't been here before. I knew he hadn't been here before in a truck. I knew he'd finished second last year to Ty Gibbs, but I think every lap, Brandon, you can get on this racetrack, whatever kind of vehicle you're in, has to help.
Absolutely. I mean, any of those tracks that you go to are a huge help whenever you get laps before. I remember my truck race last year when I won. Kyle had a cup race before that, and he called all of the KBM drivers over FaceTime and gave a bunch of knowledge for that race. And truthfully, the reason why I think myself and the 18 there with Christian was doing so well up until his incident.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Corey Hyman, the 20, he does a lot of the sim work for the KBM trucks, and it's really paying off. Obviously, they're winning everything in that series, but he said this week, he told us all that sim time is really helping him in his development in the ARCA Menards series, and especially for here, he's helped set the truck up for Kyle Busch, who will be in it tomorrow.
Yeah, the simulators are absolutely a tremendous help. Ty Gibbs is one of those as well that wears the iRacing out and wears the simulator at Toyota out, and you see how much I think that's helped him as well. So that's a great example of the simulators being really good tools.
Riding on board with Sam Mayer here in the 23, running 5th right now. Every time I see that Reese's logo, I just want a Reese's. One of the best things about being in the booth for the ARCA series.
I think you keep most of those Reese's, though, Amy.
I may put some in my backpack. My kids love me when I come home. As you see him trying to close on the back of Drew Dollar in the 15. It's fun getting to follow a lot of these young drivers, Brandon, because as you see, this is the development series, and then they get these opportunities and they're moving up, and 4 or 5 of them have been jumping in and out of the trucks this year, too. Yeah,
well, it's so cool, I think, in my opinion, to see how much this ARCA car helps you when you go to the next level. Whenever I saw Ty step from ARCA to Xfinity and miss that truck level, I was thinking, wow, that's going to be interesting to see how he does in Xfinity. But I think it shows how much this ARCA car really does help you when you get to that next step.
Caution is out first of the day. Ty Gibbs has continued to lead.
We're going to have one of those restarts that Brandon was talking about, but problems for Nick Ogdalski. He is obviously spun because you can see the roof flap came up. There's a piece of fabric there that holds that roof flap. It's now outside the roof flap. You see the right front tire flat as well.
Unfortunate for him. Glad we got that story and what he's doing for the local community of police, law enforcement. They're all, of course, working today at the racetrack, so they'll bring him in, check out the car, see if they can continue the race here. Looks like the car is intact. We have a lot of fans, by the way. You see some of them in the pits. Look at the camping. We have a lot more action from Pocono after
this. You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel,
ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And by Sioux Chief, America's manufacturer of plumbing, drainage, supply, and support products. And 9 laps into 80, and we are under caution for the first time today. The 12 of Nick Ogdalski went for a little spin, but they got him fixed up. He's back out there. By the way, the CEO of Pocono Raceway still in the race. We've talked about Chandler Smith and how much he's won and how he's gone head-to-head with Ty Gibbs. Let's take a look back at his last win. This was at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis in 2020.
Looks like they traded a little paint right there.
Ty Gibbs with a problem. JBL number 20. It was Chandler Smith driving the 20 that night, raising that flag in victory. His 9th victory. And for more on him, let's go to Kate.
Chandler Smith is having a conversation with his spotter, Mike Herman Jr. He said that you're better than these two, Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim. Chandler proceeded to say, I'm too tight once I get to them, especially in turn 3. They continue the conversation, but he said that it's pretty solid overall. If we can just get around the 20, I know that we can get Ty. We have the speed. So that's the conversation. Kevin Reed, the crew chief, proceeded to say, you got to be really focused on this restart. It's where it matters.
Well, that's a good little pep talk. You got to get it, even if you're not faster than them, right, Brandon? You just need that little pep talk. You are faster.
That's what I love. I love to hear positivity on the radio. That drives you to try to go get that next guy.
The General Tire Super Speedway Challenge is in full effect. And Phil, you like talking about this. It's great. This rewards the owners.
It does, really does. There's 7 races, all the speedways above a mile and a quarter. As you can see right now, Billy Venturini leads this. He's the owner of the 20, driven by Corey Heim. And you don't have to have the same driver as well. You can have different drivers because it just goes by owner points. You see Corey Gibbs, Ty Gibbs' father, who owns the 18 car, because of that poor finish he had at Talladega, he got crashed out. That's why he's down 5th right now in that 7-race series.
Really surprising with 5 wins, they're down that low, but it is about consistency. So I like that General Tire's doing that.
Yeah, and Corey Heim has had an unbelievably consistent year. His average finish this year is about 2.5 or something like that. It's crazy.
All right, as they tighten those belts, Chris Wright's on board there. Ty Gibbs in the 18 has led them all so far. Corey Heim, and we're green once again in the block.
Chandler Smith is going to try to get by Ty Gibbs on the inside. He's even with him, Brandon.
Yeah, I think he's there. These are the restarts that we're talking about. This is going to be interesting now when we get to turn 1 to see how that bottom is versus the top.
I got to count that as one of the Reese's Sweet Move nominees, wouldn't you say, Jamie?
Check that, yes. I would say it's all about being aggressive on the restarts. We keep hearing it from these drivers, but I think that pep talk paid off, Brandon.
Yeah, exactly. I think that that definitely wants you to makes you want to go get that next guy. It keeps you hungry during these races.
Saw Sam Mayer get by Drew Dollar to take over the 4th position as well.
So Ty Gibbs, for the first time in this race, has lost the lead and 2nd now.
Yeah, I think Chandler's probably going to see a change in his Toyota Camry here as well. That tight he was mentioning behind those cars is definitely going to get a lot better now that he's got that clean air on the nose.
With this long straightaway, when you come out of turn 3 into turn 1, how much do you feel the draft?
It's a pretty big deal, especially when guys side draft you. That's when you really feel it when they put that right front on your left rear quarter panel or vice versa, you can honestly hear the motor choke down. It's that big of a difference.
The front straightaway, Jamie and Brandon, is longer than the racetracks at Bristol and Martinsville.
Well, we always joke around. We always say you can eat a sandwich down the front stretch of the place.
Well, he's wheeling that thing now. He's been fun to watch in the Truck Series. It's been a tough year. It's been a struggle for him. I think there's a little more pressure now that he is going for the championship and he's running full-time. The last few weeks, I feel like they're starting to click and he's starting to be the Chandler of old.
Yeah, he was down below the cut line for a lot of the season. Now he's above the cut line. Put a couple really nice finishes together. Won the second stage at Nashville and really getting a lot out of that truck.
So back at that restart, that we said was one of the greasy sweet move of the race so far.
Chandler was on it. He had to wait till he got to start-finish line to pull out from behind Ty. Ty really wanted to block that move. There wasn't a lot he could do about it.
Yeah, that was textbook right there. He timed that perfectly to where he was just on Ty Gibbs' bumper right at the start-finish line, so that allowed him to kind of get left and to pull underneath him.
This is on board with Sam Mayer. His vantage point. Oh, it's so good. Restarts at Pocono into turn one is so exciting.
Trouble top left of your screen. That's Chris Wright. Remember, he had issues prior to qualifying, was not able to take a qualifying lap. Looks like he's coasting down pit road.
Started last on a provisional. They had been working on that car.
Yeah, gosh, hate to see that. I guess they didn't get their issues 100% ironed out before they got here in the race.
Chris Wright is a driver. You probably heard his name. He's been racing for Sam Hunt Racing on the road courses and Xfinity. He's been running in the Truck Series, getting as much experience as possible. He's a road course veteran. He's not used to the stock car, so this is a new world for him.
Well, he would probably honestly like Pocono if his car was running properly, because this is somewhat of a road course style oval, in my opinion, the way it drives. Very different turns. They all have their own certain braking technique and throttle inputs.
Looks like there may be an issue for Sam Mayer in that 23 car. We saw him lose the fourth spot to Drew Dollar. Now there's Jack Wood going by him, as well as Nick Sanchez.
Yeah, he might have honestly just lost a little bit of momentum. I know it's so hard to build that back up, especially at Pocono. The way we got these cars geared to get down this front straightaway sometimes takes a while for them to kind of get back up to speed if you ever get loose in areas.
At 10 miles an hour slower than the leader.
You see the sparks.
Something's definitely wrong.
Yeah, sparks underneath that 23 car for Sam Mayer. Maybe a sway bar arm or something like that. It's come loose and dragging.
Unfortunate. He's one of the drivers that we all wanted to watch tonight to see what he had. Wants to go into his first Xfinity Series race on Sunday with momentum. Let's see. There's the sparks you mentioned.
Yeah. It looks like there's some sort of a damage in the very front of his nose, right in the middle of the car.
Yeah, I see that.
Maybe ran over something, and that's what maybe knocked something loose underneath the car. That's what's causing the sparks.
Yeah, definitely. If something's under there hitting, might have ran something over as well, and he's dragging it. If something's definitely dragging or hitting, that'll definitely cause the car to be tight, won't turn and when you get to the corner and make you shoot up the racetrack.
Pat Moffitt, the 46, going around Sam Mayer for 8th right now, trying to go to the inside. Certainly not up to speed like he was. Let's go on board with Sam Mayer. See if you guys hear anything here. Oh, yes. And we have issues for Scott Melton.
Saw the damage to the front of that car. I wouldn't doubt that maybe he had an overheating issue. That was damage from earlier in the race. You can see all the Barabon that's on the front end. These Elmore engines, as you mentioned, these are the same engines they run in the Truck Series. They really don't like a lot of water temperature, and with all that damage to the front ductwork, that could have been an issue there for Scott Melton.
Scott Melton, the 59-year-old, 10th here a year ago, 10th at Talladega earlier this season.
Yeah, that's one thing that's always surprised me about this Ilmor motor is it really starts to retard itself whenever it gets over a certain water temperature. And you can definitely feel that too whenever it starts to get there. You immediately look down, start going through your gauges and your troubleshooting there, and normally that's one of the biggest things that pops up.
See damage to the back of Tim Richmond's car. That's who he hit. That was the initial start of the race where those two cars got together. About, what, 225 degrees, Brandon? Something like that is when they start retarding and what basically it detunes.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's right around that range for sure. Man, you start going to the Cup Series and Xfinity Series, you're pushing 240, 260 water on a normal day. So it's definitely an adjustment for me whenever I come down to the ARCA Series is remembering our deltas there, the differences between those two.
And Scott Melton brings it safely down pit road.
It's going to be a big break for Sam Mayer. Maybe Sam can bring that car to pit road and have his guys take a look at it.
First lap, you see Tim Richmond. Oh, definitely big hit there for the left front of Scott Melton. That's when they fixed him up, and his issues continue. We're just 18 laps into 80. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Tomorrow on FS1, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is in Pocono, where the nation's best truckers battle for the win. The engines fire up tomorrow at noon Eastern on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. Can't wait to see that. 5 big races this weekend at Pocono Raceway. Phil Parsons will be in the booth for that truck race.
Yeah, doing double duty.
That's right. Doing double duty as well as Kate Osborne. She'll be in the pits for the trucks. You have an update on the 23?
I'm talking to Shane Huffman right now. They are just trying to work to get this car in one piece in some capacity. They ran over a drive shaft, and it's been a whole lot of work to get this car back in motion. But as Brandon Jones, and it's as you can see there, it's really pumping a lot of smoke. They're saying they're done. As I'm in the pits here, they're throwing their equipment, saying they're done. They're done for the day.
Well, they brought him in one time and tried to remove it. We've never seen something like that. What exactly did he run over?
Yeah, I mean, that was really interesting. Maybe a gear pivot we were thinking or something. They were not obviously able to remove that, thinking they were going to come back in and stay on the lead lap. And looks like it came off there and probably hit a bunch of stuff when it did underneath the race car and unfortunately ended their day.
Yeah, they wanted to, it's a pinion from a drive shaft. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to go back out, go around the racetrack to stay on the lead lap. But unfortunately, when that thing came out, as you mentioned, it took oil lines, maybe the oil pan, and that's going to be catastrophic failure for that car, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was probably a pretty hefty piece of metal there that flew underneath that car. So, gosh, hate to see it for those guys.
Yeah, the driver, Sam Mayer, checks it out like, what in the heck was going on causing me all those problems? And, Brett Holmes Racing, they had high hopes. They won this race back in 2016 with Grant Enfinger, but not today. Kate.
We also got the update that the pinion's missing from the 30. Shane Huffman has the answer to it. Where is it?
It's in our grill, and it's pretty aggravating. A lot of cars hit it. It ended up in ours, ripped our whole aero pan off the front underneath, and it's just pretty frustrating. Probably stayed out there for a couple laps, rolling around. So we're done for today. It's unfortunate for Sam. I think we had a pretty decent little hot rod there. We worked real hard yesterday and today, and I thought our balance was pretty good there. I don't know that we had a winning car, but I don't know that we didn't either. So we'll come back next time.
On the bright side there, Shane, in talking with the camaraderie that you have with Sam, how great was it to work alongside of him again?
It's awesome. Sam's one of those kids that is probably going to be racing on Sundays before it's over with. So anytime you can join one of those kids on their way up the ladder, it's a pretty special deal, And he elevates us. He makes us better, and it just helps everybody. It helps Brett. It helps myself. It helps the whole team. So we're all working hard, and it's just unfortunate our day had to end like this.
It absolutely is. Sam Mayer is going to continue on to celebrate his 18th birthday tomorrow and then be in the Xfinity race on Sunday.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, hard to know just how good they could have been just 21 laps in. Riding on board with Sam Mayer. His day is done early. We have a lot more from Pocono. Stay with us. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Richmond Water Heaters, the water heater experts, available at Menards. And by General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Well, we are under caution still for the second time today, and like we keep saying, just a beautiful day. Fans are out in droves. We have the campground is sold out, so well done to Pocono Raceway and all of the fans. Now, when the caution came out, we did have some takers on pit road, most notably the 21. What do you think he's trying to gain, or do you think they were just checking the car at that point?
Yeah, I don't think there's probably much to lose, in my opinion, over this call. I think he probably lost a few spots in that restart. They got back in traffic. Wanted to try to get ahead of this. I know they come at lap 30, but maybe try an adjustment here, see if it works out. And if they need to go a little bit more, they'll have this second chance there to kind of adjust on that and fine-tune what they just did.
Jack Wood pitted from 5th position. All right, this week's Bounty Rookie Spotlight is on a 33-year-old pizza delivery driver. He's driving the number 73, running 8th right now, Andy Jankowiak.
Yeah, Andy really has done a nice job. 3 races this year in the ARCA Menards Series and all 3 top 10 finishes. Talk about how he just dreamed to go to Daytona. That was his dream, and he got to do that and finish in the top 10. Really does a nice job, and you love these stories about the guys that are able to do something maybe not with a huge budget. And he also attracted Phillips 66 to come on board. That's a great sponsor that's been there for a long time in the series. I remember Elliott Sadler winning Xfinity races with Phillips 66 on the car for Gary Bechtel.
And it's all what he's been able to do on track. He told us this week at Daytona the goal was to get there, race, and sell the car 5 minutes later. And he had so much fun and had such a great reaction. Here he is in his 4th race of the season. Let's get an update. Here's Kate.
Well, the continuous conversation about the PJ1 with these drivers, for some reason, as they're developing, they're also having to learn about what that is all about. Corey Heim said he wanted to go up into the PJ1, but he wasn't going to be the first. He knew that there could be a lot of grip up there. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs ended up in the PJ1 there at one of those last restarts because he was feeling too tight. He told me earlier today the PJ1 in turn 1 is too thick, so when it starts to wear off, it becomes like ice. It's not there yet. And for Corey Heim, Ty Gibbs is already one of the front runners who has checked it out. Brandon, Phil, what is the challenge with PJ1?
Well, for me, I love the PJ1. When they spray PJ1 down, we have a huge, I think, advantage over those guys, in my opinion, because I've done a lot of studying on how this stuff activates. I've done a lot of studying on how it works. In my opinion, I think it's going to take definitely a couple of races this weekend to get it, worked in. But as soon as someone finds that grip, it is going to be a huge deal. You're going to really see that person come to life whenever they find it, because it's a big advantage.
Well, we talked about the Reese's Sweet move of the race. I think we've seen one so far in the restart. We're about to see another restart. So starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, you can vote for today's Reese's Sweet move of the race on the ARCA Menards Series Twitter page at ARCA_racing. And I'm sure we're about to see another one here, Phil and Brandon. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be another really good restart. I'm going to be curious to watch Ty now. He's going to be on the outside this time, so I want to kind of see how he plans this restart out and see how he takes turn 1, if he's going to be tied on the 18th door or not.
How about Corey Heim, though, from inside? Oh, what a great jump by Chandler Smith. Wow.
Chandler Smith from the inside.
Couldn't have timed that better.
Would we call that 5 wide there?
That's getting 5 wide. I'm liking what I'm seeing there. For sure, they're starting to get a little bit confident on these restarts.
I think Corey Heim just picked up what they've been throwing down on the restarts, and he joined them this time.
2 restarts, and Ty Gibbs has lost 2 spots on those restarts. Back to 3rd.
Yeah, it's interesting. Noted on the top lane there for sure that it may still not be the preferred lane on these starts.
But now's the time to try it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we still have a lot of racing left, so build that notebook up right now because it's going to be important whenever it comes down to the wire.
Brett Moffitt, the 46, to the inside of the 2 of Nick Sanchez, trying to pick up the 4th spot. These 2 racing hard all season long, both full-time. Thad Moffitt, one of my favorite personalities in this series. Just big head, red hair, just great personality. Told me he's got about 3 or 4 more races they need sponsorship for, but they're doing better than they were last year, and he really hopes that he can stay in this battle for the championship.
Has a pretty good lineage, too.
Yes, oh yeah, by the way, who's Grandpa?
I think Richard Petty, the king.
And his uncle? Mr. Kyle Petty.
Yes.
Kyle Petty helps him a lot, helps Thad with his racing. A lot of the critique comes from him, a lot of the help in getting sponsorship for this ride. Thad Moffitt wasn't able to complete that pass in 5th right now. Nick Sanchez just ahead of him in the 2. We've got a spin.
36 to, yeah, I was going to speak too soon for a minute. Did a really good job missing it. Someone tagged him, though.
Nick Igdalski right there. He had his issue earlier, but was able to continue on, but huge damage there.
Yeah, that might be terminal for Nick, unfortunately. You see the left front tire that's towed out. It's Brian Doza, the 57 car that looked like started that.
Don't see too much damage. Tire rub on the right rear.
Yeah, we can't see that right rear too. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good there.
Yeah. The 36 of Brian Huff was right behind Brian Doza. See, Brian just gets a little bit loose, Brandon.
Yeah, he's in that PJ1 like we've been talking about, so maybe still just under grip there to the point of not being able to use it yet.
That was a battle for 13th. Ooh, gosh, did you see that? Just barely.
Well, that's what happened. The 12 of Nick Igdalski came by and caught his right rear corner. That's where all the damage came to Brian Doza and obviously to the 12 of Nick Igdalski.
Did you see Ryan Huff come through that? Just barely escaped. That could be one of our Reese's Sweet moves as well.
Another good nominee.
That nose looks really dirty.
That had me messed up for a minute there. That's kind of cool.
I didn't see it go through the mud. It didn't go through the mud or anything.
It's like, just kidding, guys. I avoided it all. Part of his paint scheme. Yeah, Ryan Huff doing a nice job. As Nick brings it down pit road.
Years old. Look at all these ages. That's what's so cool about, I think, this ARCA Menards series is you see a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds trying to make their way to that next step. It's pretty awesome to see that for sure.
Ryan Huff is the points leader in the Super Truck Series. Hopes to add 3 to 5 more ARCA races this year.
That's a good-looking car, other than the mud on the front of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Threw us all off. You know, the sponsors, designers at home right now laughing.
Yeah, he had a top 10 finish last year here at Pocono, finished 9th.
Notable winners at Pocono. I mean, the history at this place runs so deep. I mean, this is just in the last 15 years. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., you got Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, of course, our most recent winner.
There's been 68 races on the 2.5 mile triangle. 32 of those races have been won by people that have eventually gone on to win truck, Xfinity, or Cup races. So almost half of the winners have gone on to win at the next levels.
So impressive.
I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the list. 2017 Hertz. Riley Herbst out-edged me there on that one. That was I think in my MDM days. So that one's tough to look at.
You don't forget those losses.
No,
do you?
You do not. No,
do you remember those more than your wins?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. One thing to note on that too, that Riley won that race. There's actually a violation if you come on the racetrack into turn 1 too soon. That's actually what got me in trouble. I didn't follow the pit road around when I came off of pit road, and I had to go to the rear and still came back to second. But that is one thing to keep in mind here with these guys.
Well, this will be our competition caution, our first one of 2 on the day, so they will bring them down pit road. Just a reminder, these are modified live pit stops that we'll be seeing here. They can add tires, they can add fuel, but they cannot do them at the same time. Here's the pit stop procedure for the ARCA Menards series.
It's strictly a cost-saving measure. You don't have to have a high-priced pit crew here. Like the other 3 series in NASCAR, and only 4 crew members in it, and you don't have to do it fast. So these can be the guys that work on the car, guys from the shop. You don't have to have a specially trained pit crew to do these things.
Yeah, it's something pretty cool for sure the series does. I was able to run a race for Venturini at Mid-Ohio not too long ago in the ARCA Menards series with Menards and Tide on that Camry, and that procedure actually worked out pretty well for us.
That was our last race here on Fox. We watched you, called you in the race, so it's fun to have you here in the booth with us.
Absolutely.
So as they bring him down pit road, Chandler Smith leads the way. I'm curious to hear what he's saying about his car now that he's been in clean air. Let's go to the pits. Here's Kate.
Well, Jamie, he said that he thinks he needs an air pressure adjustment, or that's at least what the team's going to do. He wants half of the big adjustment that they made during practice on the track bar. So that's what they're working on. As you can see, a couple of tires there on the right side as well for the number 25. Meanwhile, the number 20 camp, they definitely are doing a very big adjustment there for the track bar. It's 2 in the right rear, 2 in the left rear. And running around, you can see that they're also changing those 4 tires as well. Meanwhile, then moving on down, we have the number 18 of Ty Gibbs. As Phil, you indicated, he lost 2 spots on that restart. Ty said, it's just too tight. It won't turn. Spotter Hal Martin said, stay calm, man. We will get you fixed up. Stay focused. So what's the adjustment? It's wedge. It's shocks. And as I said, that's about it. Tires and fuel for the number 18.
Yeah, big changes for Ty Gibbs as they put that wedge wrench in there. Wedge on left and right side for Ty Gibbs. They'll make their adjustments. We'll drop the green flag. A lot more racing action after this. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, not sorry. And by Hers. Hers Potato Chips. Break out the Hers. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway for the General Tire hashtag Anywhere is Possible 200. Well, it's been interesting. We've had some strategy. We've had some carnage. We've had a lot of action. So now is a great time to take a look at our Richmond Water Heaters mid-race recap.
Here's the initial start of the race. Ty Gibbs inside on the front row is going to hold back Chandler Smith and all his other competitors to hold on to the lead. As he beats him down into turn number 1.
Yeah, you see the 25 got a heck of a restart right there. And Ty realized it, come back up, tried to block the 20 to try to set himself up better for turn 1 here, which ultimately got the 25 out front.
Issues for Sam Mayer. He caught a part of a drive shaft off one of the other competitors' cars. It's stuck in the front of his car. He was trying to stay on the lead lap and came out and tore up some oil lines.
And then the big one we've had so far, 57 spins. How about the job by the 36 car getting low down? I can't stress enough how hard that is to get those cars stopped, especially where he was at there on the racetrack, to avoid that.
Great save by Ryan Huff in that 36. Chandler Smith, the leader right now, but interesting, you guys. And second is Jack Wood. We were kind of interested in his approach. He pitted not once, but twice, and now he finds himself second.
Yeah, we wondered why he was pitting there, and I think he elected not to change tires. He wanted track position more than he wanted tires. We saw him come on pit road, put fuel in earlier, and now he actually is the lead. Chandler Smith got to the start-finish line before him. That's why he's listed as the leader. But Jack Wood is the control car on this restart.
Yeah, and he's going to have to capitalize on this restart right here because you want to try to hold that lead. And that's what these guys try to do for him is get track position. Let's get out front. So now it's the driver's turn to do his job to try to be as perfect as he can on this start. And hopefully he can take the lead and hold these guys off.
Had 3 lead changes today, 3 cautions for 16 laps. Chandler Smith hopes to lead them all from here on out. I just love the different philosophies. He's going for broke. He's all about the win, but a lot of these other guys around him, they have a lot to lose. All right, so we have a problem here with the 73. He's being held a lap.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that you can put fuel in and change tires on that competition caution, but you cannot do them simultaneously. The ARCA Menards officials are saying that he did that, and they're going to hold him for a 1-lap penalty.
Yeah, that's definitely something that is probably easily done there, but pretty costly at the same time.
Yeah, too bad for Andy, who is our Bounty Rookie Spotlight contender tonight as he makes his way back down pit road. Let's check in once again with Kate.
Well, Jack Wood, the leader right now, pitted on lap 22. He topped off with fuel, and they tightened it up a little in that car. Crew chief said that we did not pit on the comp caution, and they are good until lap 60. Right now, they're coaching him, telling Jack that it's better to stay on the bottom line because they expect that these guys are going to try and make a run on him. The other piece of advice is get a good arc in turn 1 if you can, and that is a goal for Jack Wood on this restart.
That was a quick glimpse of Chad Bryant, crew chief for the 21 of Jack Wood. There's Chad right there. He was a crew chief when Chase Briscoe won the championship back in 2016 at Cunningham Motorsports, and then Chad took over that, bought that team, and ran it on his own for 2 or 3 years and joined GMS this year to run this ARCA program.
I like the strategy so far. Got him up there, got him some track position. You heard Kate say he's good to go until our next competition caution.
And he's not afraid to take chances. Chad Bryant will definitely think outside the box. And this is a situation where he's going to forego tires for track position. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, you see they added a lap here under caution, but the one thing that I heard about that, they wanted him to get a big arc into 1. I think that's very important. You see these guys blocking these runs, but you can get to turn 1 fairly fast, and then all of a sudden you got a really bad angle from blocking the car behind you. So making sure that you get that angle back into turn 1 is going to be very key, I think, to having a really good run through 1 and 2 and clearing that guy on your outside.
Well, we've talked a lot about Corey Heim. What are they saying down there, Kate?
Well, actually, this is what happened to him leading up to the racetrack a couple of years ago, that is. Every year he would be following along his favorite driver, Denny Hamlin. Well, long ago, he went to one of Denny's merch trailer. His mom came along to it with him, who then introduced herself. It was Mary Lou Hamlin. Actually gave him this collector card. This was almost 8 years ago, but it is something that he will never forget. And as these guys are continuing on through the development program of this series, maybe, just maybe, one day they'll get a chance to have a conversation and or race against some of their icons.
Yeah, Corey has always talked about Denny Hamlin as his favorite. He said since he was 5 years old, he saw Denny win, and there was something about Denny that just, he saw himself there. And now, all these years later, they're both under that same Joe Gibbs Racing umbrella. Of course, today's racing for Venturini Motorsports, but pretty neat to have, you know, somebody you look up to like that that's doing so well in the sport. And by the way, Denny's kind of good at Pocono, too.
Yeah, he's not bad at Pocono. He won both races his rookie year in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs Racing in itself not too bad at Pocono. pretty good stats there.
Corey did a nice job in that KBM truck at Darlington too. Obviously, had never been to Darlington before, and he was racing on the front row when they had that huge crash with the trucks in the second row pushing the guys in the front row. He had certainly a tremendous opportunity to have a great finish there, if not even a win.
Definitely not his doing, that crash, but what could have been. And he will have one more truck start for KBM at Martinsville. Pace car is off. Jack Wood will lead him to green in the 21 for the first time today.
Both lanes are going to be pretty equal here. No one really got a big push from that second row, surprisingly there.
Corey Heim peeked down to the inside, but I don't think he had enough momentum to pull to the inside of Jack Wood, so he's going to stay there on the inside. But look at Chandler Smith up in the traction compound.
Liking what I'm seeing there. Didn't get quite the arc, I don't think, that they were hoping for into 1. Shallowed that up a little bit, and that hurt his center turn, you could tell.
You have to remember, too, now Jack Wood has the oldest tires in the field, as Ty Gibbs now tries to grab that second spot.
Corey Heim got really aggressive in the 20 there. He saw Ty Gibbs in the 18, went to the inside, but not good enough. Ty was able to jump into second and get around the 20.
That's where I see Ty being so good. He capitalizes on your mistakes really fast. Truthfully, honestly, like a Cup driver would in an Xfinity race, they can find those little mistakes you make and really pounce on them when you do.
I like how yawed out the cars are. Phil, you and I were kind of talking about that before the start of the race. When you're a fan on the infield or you're just covering the race, it looks like everything is straight and narrow, right, front to back. Then you see them coming down. They look like crabby cars.
Yeah, we call that skew because that gives these cars so much downforce. And that used to be unlimited here in the ARCA Series. They used to be even crabbed out worse than that, but they reined them in a little bit. They changed some rules to be more in line with the East and the West Series, so they can't run as much of that, but it's certainly obvious here when they go down the straightaway at Pocono.
Yeah, it used to be a really big thing in the cars whenever we had the old school steel bodies on the race cars still. Very noticeable inside the cockpit as well. Honestly, felt like you were on edge. You were going to almost, wreck every single lap, but you were, you just had grip. You had downforce, like you mentioned. It's such a weird feeling that you almost had to get over.
That's interesting. You could actually feel that from the car. So you look at it, just, people looking at it right now, it looks like they're kind of sideways coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, I like the term crab walking. It looks like a bunch of crabs out there.
It really does. Drew Dollar in the 15 trying to get around Nick Sanchez. Sanchez doing another heck of a job running top 5 in the start of the race.
I couldn't tell if Nick tried to try the traction compound there, or if he slid up from the bottom a little bit and that traction compound caught him.
Yeah, 5 top 10s in a row for Nick coming into this race. 4 of those top 5s.
What is the commitment level when you're trying to dabble with that traction compound for the first time?
It is it's very tricky for sure. You definitely don't want to start with all 4 tires in it, in my opinion. That's something that you start working up to. You start putting your right sides in it first and your lefts out. You fill that out for a little bit. If you think that feels comfortable, continue to try to push that up as best as you can with trying to get all 4 tires in it. But I'm typically one of those that lets someone else try that first before I get it. Ooh.
Thad Moffitt going to the inside. Can he save it?
Wow, what a nice save. I think that was a situation, Brandon, you were talking about. He had a bad angle getting down in the corner, could not hold that car on the bottom.
Thad Moffitt was trying to get around the 21 at Jack Wood for 6th position. Nice save. No harm, no foul. I think we have another Reese's Sweet move of the race. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. Another nominee for sure.
Both of those drivers did an amazing job saving these.
See what happened here.
I think that just got in really hot into the corner.
It looked like he had a bad angle, then really drove it in hard trying to stay even with Jack Wood. Jack held his ground. You can see the difference in the angle. You see how that arc the 21 of Jack Wood had. He was able to carry so much center corner speed where that at some point he had to turn his car to go the other direction, and Jack Wood was there. Look at his hands inside the car.
Yeah, that turn 1 is so tough to pass in. I definitely think the exit of turn 1 is where you want to try to make your passes. Looked like Thad might have thought he could have slide job in a way into turn 1, and I think he needed to back that up a little bit and try to get that run off.
Thad Moffitt lost another spot. Kyle Sieg had gotten around him for 7th. I haven't talked about Sieg today, but younger brother Ryan Sieg, who runs full-time in the Xfinity Series, against you, Brandon, and his little brother just wants to be like his big brother and race with you guys one day.
Yeah, that's a cool story to follow for sure. I think Ryan's a Georgia native as well as I am, so fun to race with Ryan. He does a heck of a job with everything that they have going on down there, and fun to race with them on Saturdays normally.
Kyle started all but one of the ARCA races this year and had top 10 finishes in all but one of his starts, so really has done a nice job.
Find consistency as you're in the development series. All eyes are on you. It's ARCA, but we're on a national stage, and these guys know that, and they know that other drivers and team owners and sponsors are watching what they do. Let's get an update from Kate. We have a new face in the field in this ARCA Menards Series field.
Yeah, JB, and she's one who recognizes how big this stage is for her. This is also her hometown track. It's Stephanie Moyer, and back to you, Jamie.
Yeah, we've got a battle for the lead. The 18 of Ty Gibbs just took the lead from Chandler Smith, and it's a 3-man battle at the front of the field as the blocking continues, guys.
Looked like something happened to Chandler. He lost all his momentum. We caught a glimpse of Ty going around him, and then opened the door for Corey as well. Now he looks to be back up to speed, but for some reason he was really slow exiting turn 3.
You can see how important that was for Corey to try to get that lead back. He definitely didn't want to try to get back in this dirty air and want to keep that clean air on the nose of his 20.
Chandler isn't backing down, though, in that 25. I love how aggressive all 3 of these drivers are, but Ty Gibbs, let's take a look back at how he got there.
That's the exit of the tunnel turn, and you saw the 06 car, Don Thompson, and maybe it might have hurt his momentum a little bit when he was lapping that 06 car of Don Thompson, and they were just slow on the short chute between the tunnel turn and turn 3.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about it throughout the show today that you don't want to lose momentum in these cars, especially with this gear package they're running. It's a very, very low gear. It takes forever for that thing to get wound back up, and you lose almost a lap whenever stuff like that happens. So working lap traffic is a big deal here for sure.
And this is a relatively big engine as far as 396 cubic inches. The Xfinity engines that Brandon will race on Sunday are 355, 358 inches. So they don't turn a lot of RPMs. They only turn about 73 or 7,400 RPMs, where you guys will turn probably 1,000 more RPMs than that on Sunday.
That's the biggest thing. The biggest difference is actually not the horsepower. The two cars have almost identical horsepower. It's the fact that, like you mentioned, you just don't turn the RPM to try to get it out of the hole whenever you get caught with a lap car or something like that.
And Chandler Smith got caught up there. I think the left sides may have even touched the grass. So Ty Gibbs capitalized. What are they saying in the 25 pit, Kate?
Well, the crew chief, Kevin Reed, is telling him, don't overdrive the race. Just save your tires. That's what's important right now for Chandler Smith. Interestingly enough, Kevin Reed has only been his crew chief one time, and it was his first ARCA win in Madison in 2018. So they feel like they have a little bit of good mojo together.
Where's that fine line, Brandon, of not pushing too hard, but pushing hard enough to go for it?
Yeah, I mean, you just continue to work up to it, and then eventually you're going to slip over just the edge, and then you got to back down just a little bit from that. But that's exactly what you have to do as a driver. You know, you cannot just continuously run the same line, same markers the entire race. You have to keep working up and see where that limit is. That's what's going to get you to first place at the end of the day here.
You know, we're going to have another competition caution at lap 60. So we will run 30 laps before the first one, not count caution laps, and then another 30 as you see Ty Gibbs trying to break that draft from Chandler Smith. So that last run is going to be a little longer. It's going to be a 40-lap run or 30-some laps once they restart the race. So I'm sure Kevin Reed wants to know what that car is going to do at the end of that run. He doesn't want him to abuse the tires now and not really get a good idea what he's going to have, because they know they're going to have to run 10 laps longer in that third run.
Yeah, and I'm honestly liking what I'm seeing out of the 25. He's still competitive. He's still hanging on Ty's bumper, and I think that's what's going to make this car actually stronger at the end of the day, is because now they're going to adjust on it for traffic. And if Ty's been out front the entire time and he gets back in traffic at some point late in this race, his car may not possibly be able to handle it like the 25 has.
Yeah, and that's interesting. So the 25, they only made an air pressure adjustment for him. I think maybe they made a track bar adjustment as well. But Ty Gibbs, they wanted a lot of adjustments. So he got wedge left and right side. They did some other things, air pressure as well. So obviously it's helped his car. But I really feel like they look about the same speed-wise right now.
Yeah, that was quite the adjustment they were throwing on the 18 car. But like you said, I think Mark McFarland's got him tuned up. I've worked with Mark a lot in the past with MDM, got a lot of wins with Mark under my belt as well in the ARCA Menards series, so I'm sure he hit on something pretty good there.
As they work their way around lap traffic, the 27 at Tim Richmond. No relation to the Tim Richmond, who was quite good at Pocono back in his day.
Yes, he
Folger's
was.
car.
Yes, he was. He's quite good everywhere, actually.
Can you imagine being named Tim Richmond and you raced in the ARCA series? You was some boy, no relation.
I was in a race at Daytona with Tim Richmond, and Tim won that ARCA race at Daytona. I finished fourth.
Yeah, Chandler's going to have to figure out something here to get by the 18. I don't think running in his tire tracks is going to be the answer to it. Right now, he's got a little bit of a gap to third, so maybe start working on that traction compound again. Go up there and see what that's got. It'd put clean air on your nose. If it's got a little bit of grip, you're definitely going to catch back up to him.
I think those cars are pretty evenly matched right now, because we saw that Ty Gibbs was not able to get around Chandler Smith until they got in traffic, and Chandler had his momentum stalled a little bit.
And they've got that lap traffic they're working around now. So far, it's been nice and smooth, but it makes it interesting for sure. Takes the air away. They have to take different lines.
It's good to see that 18 car with a different look, too. We've been used to seeing that car black all year long. Pristine Auto Auctions on board now for the 18 car, so it's nice to see that car with a different color and some decals on it.
Definitely. I think we've seen that one time this year. But it's nice when sponsors are watching what these guys are able to do, and then they call up and say, hey, we want to be part of it. And the way they do these wraps anymore, things are so quick, and you get a sponsor. You go from flat black to suddenly you're beautiful and pristine. A lot of bugs on that windshield.
Yeah, so we're getting out of turn 3 right now, and like you mentioned, Jamie, a lot of bugs on the windshield. Visibility can be really big. They haven't really had too many big wrecks, so oil dry hasn't been laid down or anything too crazy yet, which can sometimes cause a lot of visibility problems. But look how long the straightaway is. I mean, that thing is just now getting to its peak RPM. drives in extremely deep into turn 1, right under that PJ1 or traction compound, whatever you want to call it today. Had to lift a little bit right there off of turn 1. I don't like to listen to that too much. You really want to try to stay committed on throttle, so that's one thing that Sean can definitely try to relay to his team is he's having to lift there a little bit. Maybe they can get him fixed up for this. One of the best turns on the track, the tunnel turn, turn 2, one that you carry a bunch of speed in. I've seen multiple races get lost and won in the tunnel turn. And then carries into, I think, one of my favorites, honestly, turn 3. I really carry a bunch of speed through here. You can actually use up a little bit of track under that yellow line there on the very bottom, and sometimes there's grip down there as well. So it just kind of depends how your car's handling.
And that turn 3 is based off the Milwaukee Mile.
Never been able to run on the Milwaukee Mile, but it always looks like a fun racetrack to me.
Well, there was just two of those ends. Two turn 3s connected by a couple straightaways.
I would have been pretty good there, I think.
That was fun going on board there. It looks like right now the most treacherous is the tunnel turn. The sun is in your eyes. You got the reflections off all the bugs on windshield. Ty Gibbs leads Chandler Smith. We'll be back to Pocono after this. Welcome back to the General Tire #anything is possible 200. Ty Gibbs has stretched his lead a little over a half second over Chandler Smith. And the 20 of Corey Heim hanging there in the top 3. Well, it's interesting. You took us on a lap around, Brandon Jones, and where the sun is and the different places and how difficult it gets to see. I noticed the tunnel turn right here.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's right in the driver's faces. What I'm seeing is, too, which we do in Xfinity, we have actually decals that go on the windshield on the inside to try to help with that sun. You can see they don't have much of anything to really kind of help that driver out as far as that sun visibility goes. But we talked about also you have that visor to look through as well, which I think almost maybe helps you a little bit in this situation. Takes a little bit of that glare off the windshield some, which kind of allows you to get a little bit better visibility. But yeah, until that sun goes down, it's going to be very difficult. Especially for spotters as well, because you have to relay that from the driver's seat to the roof that you can't see.
Car went really wide there getting down on the corner, but at least on Sunday you'll have an early day or noon start or something like that. So
yeah, so we shouldn't have much of an issue there.
Okay, what are they saying in Ty Gibbs' pit?
Well, Ty is saying that it's still a little tight off the corner. We know that they made those big adjustments the last time they came in, and so they're just trying to hold off right now so they can get in again. But you guys talked about all that sim time that Ty Gibbs puts in every week. He also does a whole lot of go-karting. He's up to 2 times a week at this point. I asked him why so much go-karting for him specifically. He said, well, it's really great to build tiny muscles, like ones in your hands and ones in your neck. And he also said it's good for reflexes. Brandon, has that been anything that you've experienced in your time?
Yeah, I actually go out to the GoPro Motorplex here in Mooresville, North Carolina with Ty quite often, honestly. The entire Joe Gibbs organization and the Xfinity Series does a good job of getting together, going out there running laps. It's fun to have multiple people out there for a lap time to go chase. Ty did just big man us, though. He went and bought a brand new shifter cart, so we can't really run with Ty. He runs away from us fairly fast, which I'm blaming it all on equipment.
I don't think this guy does anything besides race, and when he's sleeping, he dreams about it. When he wakes up, he drinks his water and eats his cereal and thinks about racing. And caution is out for the 4th time today.
Yeah, don't see anything on the racetrack right now. But let me correct my math here. I was talking about the last run being the longest run. It's actually going to be the shortest run when we pit on lap 60. It'll only be a 20-lap run as Don Thompson is stalled on the access road.
He's a grandfather, Don Thompson, 67 years old, just loves racing so much. He's retired, has raced at Pocono many times, so obviously some issues. Maybe his day is done early. Ty Gibbs continues to lead. Look at all those fans we've been talking about, just enjoying a stellar day. Under caution for the 4th time today, and we have pit stops. They all took. Let's go down to Kate.
On the number 18, there is an adjustment to loosen up and adding some tape to the nose because that water temp is only at 200. You can see tires and fuel, and they're also doing a couple of things with the tear-offs there. The number 25 of Chandler Smith, another adjustment on that track bar, and they're adding tape as well. Tires and fuel for the number 25.
That was not the competition caution. What do you guys think of this?
Interesting for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be even. Everyone's going to pit at the same time, and they're going to maintain their positions that they came on pit road. So it's essentially just like it being a competition caution, just a couple laps earlier.
I think if anyone were to stay out, it's going to be tough on them on those restarts as well.
Yeah, it didn't look like any of the lead lap cars stayed out.
Yeah.
It's lap 55 of 80, so we have 25 laps to go. Interesting, though, we had some adjustments. A little tape added to the nose. We had some air pressure adjustments.
Yeah, that tape's honestly probably going to give these guys a little bit of downforce here to help them in that traffic situations wherever they may be getting a little bit aero tight behind guys. Try to help them out in that sense as well. Try to get the motor running a little bit optimal temperatures as well.
And as the drivers continue battling on track, we have a bunch of kids at this beautiful facility in the middle of Pocono Raceway. And as millions of kids nationwide are still without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19, that's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play through donations of brand new fitness gear to youth organizations, including nearly $800,000 worth of equipment from Good Sports to programs in need in the Atlanta area. Text PLAY to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game. And it's so important now and always to keep those kids busy, keep them happy mentally, physically.
And those kids right there are having a good time.
Absolutely. Cool to see young stars, young guns out at the racetrack. They're enjoying some racing.
Let's take a look back here on the pit stop for the 18 of Ty Gibbs.
I think they probably had a car running in the back of them. Or they were probably pushing on a restart, something like that, and maybe that rear tail panel came loose, and they were just trying to tidy that up a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that having much damage under that section of the car would have been that big of a change, but probably enough time there to mess with some stuff like that if they wanted to and get that cleaned up.
So interesting. It throws me off whenever we see Ty Gibbs. You see that he has the yellow bumper. He does not drive like a rookie. I mean, he's got 5 wins this year in the ARCA Series alone and 2 wins in the Xfinity Series.
Another one right there. Corey Heim is another guy that has a rookie stripe.
Let's go back to Kate.
For the number 20 of Corey Heim, there was a little bit of a confusion if he was coming in or not. The team said you need to come in if the 18's coming in. So the question was, am I coming in? You need to come in if the 18's coming in. So that went back and forth a little bit. Obviously, he came in. I asked the crew chief, Shannon Rush, what they were going to do. He said they're still tight. Is it a big or a small swing? He said a medium swing. So that's what the 20 camp is working and focusing on right now.
2-time winners this year, but both wins came on super speedways, on the plate races, basically. So I'm sure they're just kind of chomping at the bit to prove that they can get it done on an intermediate track, or perhaps even today on a 2.5-mile triangle.
And Jamie, what we're hearing is that this is not the competition caution, so they're essentially going to restart this race on lap 59, run 1 or 2 laps and throw the caution again. So I think it would have been a huge mistake not to have come to pit road, because you would have given up that track position if you came at the competition caution in a lap or 2.
Here's the Bounty Rookie Challenge point standings. Coming into today, Corey Heim in the 20, the nice lead over Ty Gibbs.
And this is basically the points you earn per event without any bonus points. We know Ty's won several races, 5 races, so he's got a lot of bonus points as well as the points for poles. That is not figured into the rookies' point standings.
Be pretty special, though, Brandon, to get that at the end of the year. I know, of course, you want to win every race and you want to win the championship, but to say you were the Rookie of the Year for that particular series means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're only a rookie one time in your first year of racing, or your first year in whatever series that you're in. So yeah, that is a fun experience, fun thing to receive, and what a big field of rookies we have here. That'd be a great accomplishment.
And Haley Deegan got it done last year. Of course, running full-time in the truck series this year.
Yeah, great point.
Jason Kitzmiller, you see the 97. We haven't talked a whole lot about him, but he stayed up right around the top 10. He elected to stay on the racetrack and not come to pit road on that caution flag. So he is our leader right now, restarting right beside Ty Gibbs.
He picked the outside. I'll be curious to see how this helps him when he gets to 1. He had a pretty good little launch right there. Might actually get the 18 cleared.
Ty Gibbs maybe loses the spot here, guys.
Remember, Jason's going to have older tires when he gets down in turn number 1 here.
Ty fired it off in the corner for sure right there on him. Oh, he's getting put in a bad spot now.
Oh, boy.
So much momentum coming out of that corner for the 18. They were 3 wide behind him. There's Chandler Smith in the 25. So aggressive on the restarts. Here comes Drew Dollar in the 15 on the bottom.
Sanchez right in the middle there.
Yeah, Nick did a great job. Actually, May came out ahead of that right there.
4 wide behind him.
Trouble.
Jack Wood into the wall hard in the 97. We just talked about him. Jason Kitzmiller starts this field, and now he is wrecked. This is our 5th caution of the day.
Man.
Yeah, that's a situation where the gamble of staying out and not pitting under that caution is going to cost him. He didn't do anything wrong. It didn't look like he was a victim of circumstances, but he didn't quite have the speed that those other cars that have been running up in the top 5 for the majority of the race had. Plus, he had older tires as well.
Jack Wood, talked about him so much today, running top 5.
You know, one thing that I always thought of, and for myself anyways, is I always do so much better when I can go forward, even if I have to start way back in the field.
Not playing defense.
Exactly, yeah. Whenever you get on defense, I just feel like for myself, even in these situations, you start putting yourself in some positions there that you shouldn't have to, for multiple reasons, and you start getting in the mirrors, you start getting nervous. But if you can start coming through the field and get on that offense side of things, it changes a bunch.
Kind of like a sitting duck up there when you know that you have the older tires and the field around you. Let's look at what happened here.
Actually, wasn't his fault at all.
Yeah, it looked like the 21 maybe got clipped by Ryan Huff in the 36, and Jason Kitzmiller was up against the wall with nowhere to go when Jack Wood was turned into the outside wall.
Did you see Ryan Huff again? Even if he had the contact, he still avoided it.
Pretty hard licks there for Jack Wood and Jason Kitzmiller.
Yeah, those 2 cars are probably definitely done today.
And some significant debris. Sean Coors on board.
You see him 4 wide stacked up right in front of him. You see him lift off for a moment, then he knows he's got to get back in the throttle to get by those cars before they came back off the wall.
Yeah, he did a good job of missing that.
This is our competition caution, the final one of the day. Ty Gibbs, Corey Heim, Chandler Smith, your top 3. Coming up next on FS1, it's an in-state rivalry as Gonzalo Higuain and Inter Miami square up against Nani in Orlando City. The action heats up next on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. More competition to follow when this competition is over.
I think we're a long way from over. We're going to have a late restart here, and we've seen how crazy the restarts have been.
Getting our money's worth today. These restarts are incredible.
Absolutely.
It continues. Let's look at this close call here.
That white car, that's Stephanie Moyer in that white car. Oh. Watch this move. Look at all 4 tires sliding. And another, Tim Richmond as well in the 27 car, avoiding Jack Wood.
Pretty good heads-up driving by both of those.
Stephanie Moyer in that 01. Her first ARCA Menards Series, National Series. She's been running some races in the East. Some nice finishes there as well. Let's go back and look at Chandler Smith's restart earlier. See him inside second in the number 25.
right on the rear bumper of Ty Gibbs as they got to the start-finish line, pulled out. Ty tried to block him down there, realized that he wasn't able to do it because of the momentum, and that's exactly where Chandler Smith is going to restart here in just a moment, inside second row.
Let's go to the pits with Kate. What are they saying on Chandler Smith?
Well, crew chief Kevin Reed just said it's a good thing we're starting third here because I think we can beat Ty on this restart. How that happens as well, all day long they've been beating him on the restarts. And the 18, as Kevin Reed said, likes to play a lot of games. So starting behind him in third is really going to give them the advantage for him to try and work his way around him.
Likes to play games. Battery's just super uber aggressive.
I think it's a little bit of both. He's definitely going to change up where he goes, I'm sure. I'm sure Ty has not been very consistent on that all day for a very good reason, and does not want to give these guys any big of advantage that they can get on him. But I would take that clip from Chandler earlier and use that as an amazing example of a really good restart. You never want to hit somebody in the zone. You want to time that to where right at the start-finish line you're at their bumper so you can pull out. Like you guys mentioned, you can't pass until you get to that line, so that's pretty important.
Also, somebody else to watch, the two and Nick Sanchez on the inside lining up behind Chandler Smith. He's been really good on his restarts. Something he's really been focused on as well, and it really showed the last oval race at Charlotte. That's the only time he could run with the 18. I think he passed him a couple of times, so watch that too.
Yeah, we caught a glimpse of Andy Jankoriak, and back on the lead lap now in top 10, so nice solid run by him. He got a lap down early because of a pit road infraction. Got to free pass, got back on the lead lap, has a great shot at a solid top 10 finish.
He rocks that pink bandana when he gets in his car, and then he just drops it around his neck and puts his helmet on. I like his style.
Good example of keeping your head in the game for sure.
This restart here could be indicative of who's going to win this race. Maybe who wins this restart might win the race.
Ty Gibbs, the leader. Corey Heim in second, 18 to go.
Good restart by the 25 again. Oh, I would have went middle. Oh, wow.
Oh!
What a save.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But a tire rub for Ty Gibbs, I think, maybe on the right front.
What did we just see? How did he save that?
Looks like a left rear tire rub, doesn't it, Brandon?
Yeah.
And Corey Heim with the lead.
Corey Heim, after all that, gets the lead. Chandler Smith went to the left, cut up through the field, saved it, and everybody's still driving.
A lot of tire smoke from Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to last very long. Oh,
I think is it going down now? It looked like he wiggled there through the tunnel turn.
It looks up a little bit, but I don't know for how long. That's a lot of smoke for sure when he gets in the corner.
Ty Gibbs trying to tie the all-time record of 5 straight wins in the ARCA Menards series. See if this damage is going to be a bigger problem or if he'll be able to hang on. Still charging between the 20, behind the 20 of Corey Heim. Meanwhile, the 25 of Chandler Smith, you saw in that restart. He saved it, but still a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's going to take him out of contention, but it's got to be a nominee for the Reese's Sweet move, though. Unbelievable save.
Kate Osborne's there.
Well, as I thought that the car was set up really well, it looks like they're working on that right front. They're going to make a tire adjustment there. Unfortunately, Kevin Reed had his hands up when that happened, and he's standing over the box right now with a lot of concern looking at that number 25 vehicle.
Well, as you said, 16 to go. That basically takes him out of contention here. Meanwhile, Corey Heim continues to lead. I cannot believe what we saw on that restart.
That was crazy for sure.
Ty Gibbs knew that he had to block that move. He was good. If he let that car get by Chandler Smith, then he felt like he was going to lose the race. So he went all the way down to the inside wall to block. That opened up the outside when they made contact. Let's take another look at it right here.
25 on the inside, right behind Ty Gibbs.
I think both drivers did honestly a really good job there. They both did their job, what they were supposed to do.
This was the angle.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, pretty significant contact right there. I don't know how they all missed Chandler Smith as he drove back across the field into the middle of the racetrack.
Things happen so fast in these restarts. You'd go back and look at this after the race and say, maybe we could have shot to the middle and made something happen. But like I said, there's so much going on. It happens all so fast.
Corey Heim didn't have to do anything. He just drove straight down the straightaway and inherited the lead.
hoping that his spotter is keeping him abreast of what just went down behind him. We're worried about the damage on the 18. He's still digging though.
One nice thing about these composite bodies, it's not like a sharp metal edge. These composite bodies will move around a little bit, maybe clearance itself a little bit, because the smoke is definitely not as bad as it was.
I think it's almost 100% really cleaned up for that 18 car.
When it's your year, it's your year.
Absolutely.
But what a statement it would be by Corey Heim, though, if he could. All the talk's been around Ty Gibbs winning 4 in a row, trying to win 5 in a row. What a statement it would be by Corey Heim if he could hold them off.
We have 14 laps to go. We will bring you the finish of the ARCA Menards Series race from Pocono. Corey Heim leads them. Welcome back to the General Tire. Hashtag anywhere is possible 200. Corey Heim in the 20 continues to lead Ty Gibbs behind him in the 18. Ty, though, slowly closing that gap.
Yeah, one thing that, if I was Ty right now, and depending on the way his car is handling, he's got one more race this weekend. So use this time now to, maybe with this damage, try to learn a little bit. Move around some right here. Learn about what that PJ1's going to do for your Sunday race. Mainly, specifically, learn what it's going to do so I know when I go into it and I can talk to Ty and have a better advantage on these guys as well. But that would be my mindset right here. But maybe he thinks he's got enough speed still to run that 20 car back down and try to pass him.
He's right there, Brandon. One little slip by Corey Heim, and Ty will be right there. See, the gaps remain steady for the last 4 laps. Looks like he drifted up into the traction compound a little bit more that time than he had before. And then we talk about drivers doing double duty like Ty Gibbs. There's another driver doing double duty. That's Jade Buford, the 11 car. He will be running the Xfinity race with Brandon on Sunday, doing a nice job his first full year here in the series, and doing a great job here today, running in the 8th spot right now. First time at Pocono. Jade doing a nice job.
Big Machine Vodka spiked cooler. Looks very familiar. Looks very similar to the Xfinity Series car that he's running. You mentioned this is his first full-time season. He has such a great story. Scott Borchetta met him. He was his driver coach at COTA in Austin, Texas. And Scott Borchetta, of course, a legend in the music industry, country music industry, and he liked him so much, he said, I'm going to build a team around this guy. And that's what he's really done. And now we see Jade getting some extra lap time here to help him on ovals, because he's a road course guy.
Yeah, Jade really good on road courses, especially when he's in the Xfinity Series. You mentioned him running at COTA. I think I was actually around him at some points in the race. So does a really nice job at those, and tying all the pieces together for a full season, trying to get some oval experience here, and doing a good job at it, running top 10 kind of all day, really.
Yes, Scott did a nice job. He hired Patrick Donahue, one of the most experienced guys in the garage area, to run that operation. They're doing a nice job this year.
Corey Heim up front, the 18-year-old from Marietta, Georgia. Another Georgian. What is it with all these Georgians in here? Brandon Jones?
I don't know. I guess we're all good Pocono racers for whatever reason that is.
Corey has 2 wins this season, both coming at Daytona, Talladega. I know he's been frustrated with his car and the handling. They've been good, but Ty Gibbs has just been better, and it's been frustrating for him. So now leading with 7 to go here at Pocono, leading Ty, knowing he cannot slip up. Kate, what are they saying about Ty Gibbs right now?
Well, right now the team is asking him to keep an eye on that left rear tire. He says there's nothing wrong with it yet. It's very silent in the car. One would actually say that it's very calm in that cabin right now. So that's Ty Gibbs in focus. And as Brandon, you were saying, perhaps right now it's a good learning opportunity for him as well.
Yeah, you always try to take the tougher moments in a race and try to make them the best, and you always wonder why when some guys actually get big damage, why go back out there? Why keep running laps? And I think that there's more to it than just trying to finish the race. You're trying to learn more for when you come back here in the future. But you're seeing him, and I'm assuming it's by design, but he is trying to work that traction compound a little bit. So maybe he's putting some of that to use right now and trying to figure out what that stuff's going to do.
Well, she mentioned the left rear had a lot of tire smoke earlier. The General Tire lettering completely gone, but the smoke is gone too. So maybe this thing will hold on.
Yeah,
another 6 laps.
I think it's going to be fine. I think it clearanced itself, and as you mentioned, no more smoke. There is looks like a fender brace that may be dangling down there, but I don't think that's going to be an issue also.
Yeah, I don't see it affecting that 18 car at all there.
The only thing that's affecting it right now is the fact that Corey Heim is putting some perfect laps together and opening up this lead a little bit.
Drew Dollar, another Venturini car, has moved his way into third. Nick Sanchez fourth, and Thad Moffitt has found his way now. Getting better as the race has gone on here.
Yeah, another top 5 run going for Thad Moffitt. He's got about a 4-second cushion on Kyle Sieg now, running in the 6th spot. Yeah, big gain that time by Corey Heim. He gained a half a second that lap. The deficit was a half a second for a number of laps, but he gained a full half a second that lap to pull out to over a second lead now on Ty.
Corey Heim.
Can he make it 30?
Make it 30. 29 straight races without a repeat winner. How many people just wrote that off and said, well, there goes that record. Ty's going to take it.
Exactly.
Not so fast.
Yeah, good job keeping their heads in the game there for sure. You're never out of the fight in these races.
Chandler Smith, that significant damage on the right front. He came in and pitted, but still some issues there, Kate?
That's exactly right, Jamie. You mentioned that right front. They thought it was actually a right front issue. Turns out they thought now it has to do with the nose. They got their tires ready. Crew chief was asking him if they have any new ones, and they said, no, we got to put some used ones back on. So that's what the Chandler Smith camp is all concerned about right now.
Yeah, very limited on tires in this series because we have modified live stops. They had 8 tires. They say tires. We say sets, in the other series, but they had 2 sets. So obviously they'd have to put some scuffed tires, glued them up for this round. But with 4 laps to go, at this point, do you come in?
No, he stayed on the racetrack. He's not even going to pit.
Exactly.
He will lose too much time coming down pit road.
Corey Heim right now with about a 1.5 second lead over Ty Gibbs. And I've been really impressed with the Corey Heim I've seen today. He's always a great racer, very smart. But he said this week, having Chandler Smith and Sam Mayer in the field, he really felt like he was going to have to up his game. And I feel like he has.
Well, remember when Kate talked to him, too, at the beginning of the show, how he said, hey, we're here to win practice, to sit on the pole. He said, we lost the pole. We lost a point to Ty Gibbs. So he was here on a mission, and he was very opportunistic on that restart when Ty Gibbs got together with Chandler Smith. Held that thing straight, got the lead, and hasn't looked back.
He was frustrated, but sometimes we know, Brandon, you drivers get frustrated, you drive faster.
Some of them do. Some of them go backwards when they get frustrated. But I liked what I heard from him earlier today in pre-race when he was on the grid, and that's making goals. I think that's very important for a driver when they come into a series, is to make some goals, especially in the race. What's our goal today? And it's not just, I don't think, just winning the race. I think that's all of our goal, but it's bigger than that. And I think he really wanted to come here to set a statement. I know Ty's been on such a roll here, so they're going to be pretty excited if they can get to the end of this thing and try to knock him off the top.
2 more laps.
See, Chandler Smith is not making it easy for Ty Gibbs. You saw Chandler Smith riding around there. He's going to get in between Corey Heim and Ty Gibbs, and just to make sure that his teammate, Corey Heim, wins. And I think right now it's a situation where Chandler Smith isn't really happy about that restart. He felt like Ty didn't give him any room, and he's actually he's voicing that right now, essentially.
I guess that was another reason to stay out.
Yeah.
White flag is in the air. Corey Heim, see if he could keep it perfect, work his way carefully around lap traffic, keep Ty Gibbs behind him.
I think Ty Gibbs right now realizes that he's not going to be able to catch Corey Heim, so there's no sense pushing the issue with Chandler Smith. We'll discuss it after the race.
Absolutely.
He's really stretched his lead now. They came in here tied in points. Ty Gibbs, Corey Heim. Corey wants to take over that point lead. He's been so consistent this year. 2 wins for him, 5 for Ty Gibbs. As he makes his way around. Checkered flag is in the air. Corey Heim is your winner at Pocono. hear from them after this.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. We are in victory lane celebrating with Corey Heim, a dominating day for him, at least this last half of the race for him. Corey Heim, this is much deserved. We talked at the beginning of the show that you were in a winning slump. What statement were you making with this win for you and your team as a whole?
Yeah, I think it was a lot for my team. You know, I think I doubted myself a little bit when we got in that slump, like you mentioned, but this JBL Camry was phenomenal today. I got to dedicate this one to Shannon Rush. You know, he hit the balance perfect on that last stop. You know, I tried to do the best I could for feedback, and he hit it right on the dot. So. Yeah, Kevin Reed, Shannon Rush, Billy Venerini, all the guys, Bill Venerini as well. Just awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
That is one big sigh of relief for Corey Heim, the winner here at Pocono Raceway. Jimmy?
And you see the General Tire results on the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look at the ARCA Menards Series points after 8 races. Corey Heim with a 3-point lead.
Huge lead for Corey Heim. No, 3 points. Ben Moffitt, another great run, though, stays 53 points back.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see how tight that gap is. One little mistake is going to get you behind.
They were tied coming in. I love following this points battle. Yeah, Thad Moffitt ended up so good on the day. He brought home another top 5. Great finish for him. This hasn't been a good track for him. All right, Reese's sweet move of the race. I think we at least have 4 or 5 of them. So starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., vote for today's Reese's sweet move of the race on the ARCA Menards Series Twitter page at ARCA_racing.
Jamie, we said at Daytona, this is going to be a 2-horse race between Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim. There could be other players, but we knew for sure those two, and it certainly has lived up to our expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that this today was a big statement to be made by that 20 car, but they're definitely going to be battling all year long, absolutely. But this was definitely fun for me to come and hang out with you guys today, be able to watch this race.
And good luck Sunday.
Thank you, guys.
Great seeing you. Congratulations to Corey Heim. For Phil Parsons, Brandon Jones, Kate Osborne, I'm Jamie Little. Next on FS1 Major League Soccer as Inter Miami takes on Orlando City. Kickoff coming up at 8:25 Eastern. Now let's get you to Rob Stone in the studio.